Welcome to Lost in English， 这句英文跟你想的不一样。我们用轻松的聊天方式，陪你一起学会生活中最常见的英文片语及惯用法。I'm Shirley.
And I'm Abby.
今天我们要来介绍的片语是 touch on， 虽然字面上有碰到某样东西的意思，但是在对话中，它其实有一个跟说话主题相关的抽象用法哦。我们先来听听一段对话，看看你能不能猜出它的真正语义。What did the boss say in the meeting?
She talked about the new project and touched on working from home.
Are we allowed to do that?
Maybe. She said we'll hear more next week.
So, what does touch on mean here, Abby?
Touch on means to address and discuss a topic or idea in a conversation.
这个片语里，动词 touch 本身有触碰的意思，而介系词 on 则是某个东西的表面，所以当我们说 touch on 后接 something， 就可以想象用手指轻轻碰到某个东西的表面，所以抽象用法就可以表达在谈话当中稍微提到并谈论某个话题咯。So Abby, have you ever accidentally touched on a topic that was considered rude or too sensitive in another culture?
That's such a good question. In France, they have a really important law called laïcité, which was made to keep religion and government separate.
Keep them separate, that you can't talk about them in public?
Kind of. So the law applies to government workers like teachers, politicians, and police, as well as students in public schools. So that means no religious clothing or symbols such as religious cross or a hijab. A hijab is a scarf or a piece of fabric, sort of like a hat, that covers a woman's hair in the Muslim religion.
Well, I thought it was only applied to teachers only.
Yeah, I worked in a public school in France, so I had to be very careful about not bringing up any personal religious beliefs of my own or of the students.
Oh, that's very strict. Do you have to do that in the US as well?
In the US, freedom of religion allows people to express their beliefs publicly. So students can wear religious clothing at schools, but teachers aren't allowed to promote their religion.
Wow, it must have taken you some time to adjust.
Yeah, it did take a lot of time to adjust. I found it really strange that people had to take off their hijabs or their cross necklaces before entering the school. Like, I understand why we shouldn't touch on our personal beliefs as teachers, but I didn't really get why people weren't allowed to just wear certain things.
Yeah, I think I will accidentally touch on a sensitive topic if I were the teacher there.
Yeah, I was really scared of doing that. But how about in Taiwan? Are there any topics that you think people might accidentally touch on when they travel?
Yeah, I have one. This topic seems normal to people in Taiwan, but it might make people in other countries a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, do tell. I'm so curious.
It's age. Like, a lot of people in Asia like to ask, like, how old are you all the time? Even when they just met. It's a lot better now, I think, but some people still do it, especially elders.
Oh, that's so interesting. I could see that being a sensitive topic.
Yeah, I feel like in the US, people don't really start a conversation by asking about someone's age, right?
It would definitely be rude to ask that to someone you just met in the US. And it's funny because the older I get, the more I hate that question. And it's especially bad if you ask a woman her age in the US.
Yeah, I totally get that. I wouldn't be happy if someone asks my age.
So why do you think people are curious about that in Taiwan? Like, is it about respecting those older than you or trying to figure out if you're the same age?
I think both. In our traditional culture, we are taught to show more respect to people who are older than us.
I've definitely heard about it, about other Asian cultures before.
You don't really call people who are not related, like older strangers. You don't call them uncle, aunt, or even sister or brother, right? Like, you only do that when they are your actual family members, right?
Not really. I think it depends on the region of the US. Like, sometimes we might call our friends bro, short for brother, but that's it.
What about old people, though? I assume you only use grandpa or grandma for your biological grandparents, like your own parents. not just any elderly neighbor or strangers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny because I almost called one of my previous bosses grandpa. His name is Ed, and he was around 60 years old, so I almost called him like Grandpa Ed. And yeah, I just wasn't really used to that because he seemed really old, and I thought that I should call him Grandpa.
That is so funny. I imagine that would have been a fun conversation with the HR department, or maybe you could have gotten fired. Who knows? Yeah. That's so funny, though. Was it weird to adjust when you got to the US since we don't have that same emphasis on respecting our elders?
Oh, yeah, it was. It's honestly still so hard for me to adjust every time I go back to Taiwan because people in the US just don't really ask people ages, and I've really gotten used to that.
Do you have an example of a time when you realized you had gotten really used to not being asked your age?
Yeah, I remember one time I met a new student in person, and like the very first thing she asked me was about my age. Yeah, not my teaching or work experience, not my specialty. It was my age, and I honestly feel so offended. And I try really hard not to show that too, obviously. Yeah, but at the same time, as a Taiwanese person, I also knew she probably didn't realize she was touching on a topic that some people might not feel comfortable answering.
Right. So how did you react to it?
Well, I just put on a smile and said, wow, how old do you think I am? And never get her exact number of my age.
I bet that worked. You probably did not ask that question again. I think I'd say the same thing if I were you. Like, the only times that doesn't offend me is when people respond with, oh, wow, you look so much younger than that.
I like that. People should just say that more often. Yeah, all right. Before we go, just a quick reminder, the phrase we've been talking about today, touch on, means to bring up or mention the topic, sometimes carefully because it might be sensitive.
Exactly. Like we talked about with religion in France or asking someone's age, those are topics you have to be careful with. So next time you talk to someone, think about how you actually touch on it.
Right. You don't want to make others unhappy without even realizing it. Thanks for listening again. We will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
如果你觉得今天的内容有趣而且很有帮助，也欢迎到 Instagram 搜寻输出英文，里面有更多文化的相关英文学习内容，别错过咯。那我们就下期见咯。